Are you wondering how to start a lifestyle blog? Well, if that's the case, then you've come to the right place, because today I am going to be walking you through step by step exactly how you can launch your lifestyle blog and get it off the ground. Now, I'm going to be running you through the exact process to build out your lifestyle blog and to make sure that it is a success. And I will be covering a live demo of everything you need to do from a technical perspective, so that by the end of this video, you will have a lifestyle blog live and on the internet. Now, I'm going to be covering these topics here today. Before I begin on explaining the building of a lifestyle blog, I want to give you a quick introduction of who I am and why I have the authority to be giving you this advice. Then we'll be running through that process and the key aspects of building out your lifestyle blog. And then, as I've said, I'm going to be walking you through how you can do it all from a technical perspective in a live demo. I will be leaving timestamps in the description below if you want to jump to number 3, and that will give you that step-by-step guide to getting your website launched. So if you're here for that, then maybe you want to skip ahead. But before we do, I do think this is all important, which is why I'm going to be covering it first. So firstly, who am I? Well, I'm a portfolio website owner. I have over 10 websites in my current portfolio, and I have proven to be quite successful. I don't mean to sound arrogant, I just want to give you an idea that I am actually doing this and that I am getting some good results. So here you can see my analytics from 2022 for 3 of those sites, obviously not all of them, but I just wanted to show you that I've amassed around 3.5 million page views for these 3 sites alone, and that's just in 2022. These are obviously in different niches. One of them is in fact in the lifestyle niche. So I just thought I'd mention that just to let you know that, yeah, I am actively doing this, and some of the tips and tricks that I'm going to suggest to you, I am actively using. So how do you start a lifestyle website? Well, it all begins with deciding on your niche. So I would first recommend that you pick an area of focus. So this could be that you decide to review products or experiences or particular services. So you could build a whole blog around this very thing. Equally, you could offer tutorials or offer recommendations and advice, or you could provide a vlog or a journal. Or you could do a combination of all of these different things. But what I'm just trying to give you an idea here is that you want to have a kind of focus before you begin on the kind of content that you're looking to publish. When it comes to niches, again, you could theoretically do a combination of all of these different things, but it does make sense to focus on a particular niche. That will give you some content to kind of go after. It will enable you to become an authority in the niche, and it will help the search engines such as Google understand what you kind of do and help them to rank your content. So I've given you some potential niches here. You may have one in mind, but these are the kind of common ones in the lifestyle niche. So imagine these as sub-niches, if you like. So you've got the likes of health and nutrition. It could be a particular hobby, such as photography or bullet journaling. You could have a parenting or mum or dad blog, a personal development, a professional development, a life hack kind of blog, culture blog, or a travel blog. There's plenty more as well, but these are the kind of main ones that you may want to kind of focus on. Next, you need to decide and choose a domain name. Again, this will be covered in the live demo of how you can actually secure it and kind of associate it with your hosting and make sure that you're live on the internet with that domain. But the kind of key and core aspects of choosing a domain name is that you want a short, memorable and brandable domain name. You want it to ideally include your niche so that your website visitors know exactly who you are and what you do. When they run searches in Google or the other search engines, they'll see your domain and they'll think, yeah, that's the kind of website I want to go to. So it has a big SEO impact. It also helps the search engines understand what kind of content you produce. I'd recommend a .com domain because it's a global extension, so that you should be able to receive traffic from every area of the world. So that's kind of a benefit there, unless you are focusing on a particular country or you want to use one of these new extensions. But I think .com domains are pretty good. And you want a domain that's going to enable you to expand out. You don't really want to go kind of too niche, because that way you might get stuck in a kind of content corner where you struggle to be able to produce new content that kind of makes sense for your kind of website. So for instance, if you focused on a juicing domain, you may find it be difficult to talk about things like, I don't know, a culture or travel as an example. That's very, very broad example, but I'm trying to give you an idea of what I mean by the expand out comment. Now, with the domain name ideas, these are obviously ideas. They're probably not even registerable, if that's a word. You're unlikely to be able to get these. They're just an idea of how you can use your niche or your sub-niche or focus to kind of think of a brandable domain. So I've got Health School 101, Journal with Me, parentingtipsandtricks.com, lifehackhub.com and cultureclub.com. These are just examples, but they're kind of key to your branding. Don't get stuck on them. It's not that while they're important, you'll never come up with a perfect domain name in your head, and over time I'm sure you'll learn to love it. With my domain names, I've found that actually just getting started is the most important thing, and really it's important to include your niche, but really apart from that, it's not actually as important as you probably think in to begin with. So you do just want to get started. So have a brainstorm, see what's available, and just get started. Now, hosting. Now, I cannot stress how important hosting is. It is the fundamental framework of your website. It has such a big impact on your website speed and how your visitors will experience your website, how quickly it loads. Hosting is paramount for ensuring that it remains up. If you go for a cheaper host, you will likely find that there's a lot of downtime, meaning when visitors come to your website, it's down and they can't access the content or the site itself. And that's very, very common if you get spikes of traffic, which if you're doing everything right, you should expect and hope for. And it's also very, very important for your website experience. You want it to load fast so that when people navigate it, it's not hanging and they can get to where they want to. So for all these reasons, I recommend WPX. And it is the hosting provider that I use for all of my different websites, as you can see in the screenshot below. Now, there's a link in the description to head over there, and we will be using this in the live demo. So if you click that link in the description, and then when we get to the live demo, you can literally run through the whole process as I walk you through it. So yeah, I would strongly recommend WPX, and there's so many different reasons why I would do so over some of the other hosting providers, particularly the really, really cheap ones. And I'm just going to run through some of those. But what WPX is a truly premium hosting provider. You get access to a WPX cloud, which is a CDN. And basically what that means is that wherever your website traffic is coming from, your website will load as quickly as it can for them and their region. So they have different data centers over the world. And basically, say your traffic is coming from the US, then your website's going to load from a US computer. So it's very, very quick. And that is so important for, as I've said before, your website traffic. And also the search engines, they want to rank websites that load quick because it provides a good user experience. And that's exactly, they don't want to recommend websites that aren't very, very good. So just bear that in mind. You also get a free SSL certificate and DDoS protection. So basically you're protected from any hacking or any other kind of attempt to take over your site. You're very well protected against that. Usually SSL certificates cost. With WPX, you get that for free. It's very, very easy to install. We'll be walking you through that in the demo as well. This is perhaps the best feature and why I would really, really recommend WPX. You get 24/7 instant live chat technical support, and you can use this for anything, any technical question you have. In fact, you could actually walk through the entire website building process with them helping you, or you could even ask them to do it for you for free. This is so, so crucial, especially when you're building a new site. You're going to have lots of questions. You're probably going to make some mistakes, and it's so crucial that you're going to have someone there and able to answer you whenever you need it. A lot of the cheaper hosting providers will raise support tickets. You may be waiting hours, if not days, to get them resolved. It's really painful, particularly when you want to get a new website off the ground. It can really, really hamper your progress. So yeah, this is such a good feature of WPX. I love the fact that you can create multiple sites in each hosting plan. So you're here because you want to create a lifestyle website. You could create 4 more as an example, just on their standard plan. So yeah, you could create various different niche websites using this process, and you could include it all and roll this up into one monthly cost. So it's really, really good for that. They run free malware detection and they will remove it without you having to do anything. It just happens in the background. Very, very useful, and something that usually costs a premium with other hosting providers. Again, if your site goes down, they will fix it for free. They take free website backups, so that you can restore your website to a previous version if you encounter any issues. And of course, it's trusted and used by some of the most successful online bloggers. So I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it, about this particular hosting provider? So yeah, why don't you use something that the big bloggers are using? It says a lot, and that's why I'd recommend it. I'm using it myself. So next up, you have your theme. Now, this is absolutely crucial to your user experience. It has a big impact on your SEO efforts and how you're going to rank in the search engines, because again, it has a massive impact on your page speed, how users navigate it. You know, if they can't find what they're looking for, they'll bounce off, and that's a really, really bad sign to the search engines. It's crucial for your branding and how you kind of present yourself and your image, and how users can find the content and also maybe buy from you or sign up to your offers. So yeah, it's very, very crucial to find your layout as well. So the recommended theme, the one I use across all my 10 sites, is Generate Press. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to give you a recommendation of a particular layout in the live demo, which you can see actually a screenshot below here. But Generate Press has a free version and also a paid version. I'm on the paid version purely because if you get on the paid version, it's not too expensive as well. If you get on the paid version, you can access a site library which enables you to basically install a done-for-you site, with one click. So basically, you can build out an entire site without having to sit there and go through every individual component of the website building process. So it's really, it just basically ensures you can get an optimized website off the ground very, very quickly, and you can get one optimized for your lifestyle niche. So that's why I'd recommend Generate Press. It's also very, very lightweight, fully customizable. It's user-friendly, and again, it's one of the most recommended themes that WordPress suggests that you use. So yeah, I'd recommend you go for Generate Press. There's obviously lots more out there. You don't have to do this, but it is a recommendation. Next in the process, you will need to build out your blog. So you need to build all the key pages, such as your contact us, your about us, your privacy policy. You'll want to add your logo and branding. Whatever theme you use, you'll need to do this. And the steps will kind of vary depending on what theme you use, whether you go for that done-for-you site or you kind of build it all out from scratch. You want to customize your colors, your menus, and your categories, and you just want to make your blog. You want to make sure it's complete before you kind of launch to start getting traffic. Then it's all about publishing your content. So this is where you want to focus on niche-related topics. You know, if you set up, let's go back to our previous example, if you set up a juicing website, you want to make sure that you're publishing juicing content. It's very kind of obvious, but you really need to stick within your lane. That's why sometimes it's better to go a little bit more broad so that you can cover various different topics and it won't look out of place on your website. It's a good idea to opt for low competition keywords. That way you're more likely to rank in the search engines and get the traffic that you are looking for. Now, you may have various different strategies to get traffic to your website. You might even be including social media, but if you are looking to produce content for the search engines, then low competition keywords is always a good idea. And you can find them in various different ways. That's out of the scope of this video, but it is something you will need to do once your website's been built. And the last kind of recommendation here is I would recommend that you commit to a regular publishing frequency. Now, it's not going to have any SEO benefit, but what it will do is it will ensure that you get enough and sufficient content onto your website to make sure that you get the traffic that you are looking for and to ensure that you become an authority in your space. So let's turn to the live demo where we're going to be building out a website with WPX. So once you click the link in the description, it's going to take you over to WPX and you're going to be greeted with this screen here. So all you need to do is click View Plans and it's going to show you this screen. Now, there is the ability to pay for your plan on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. Now, if you opt for yearly, you're going to get some savings, particularly 2 months of hosting free. So I would really recommend that, particularly if you're serious about your beauty blog. Otherwise, you can pay for it monthly, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video here today. Also, you've got different plans and options available. We're going to go for the business, and that should suffice if you're looking to just build a beauty blog. In fact, you can have up to 5 websites, so you could actually create another 4 more if you wanted, and you get so much here. That's more than enough to support these 5 websites and really make sure they're really, really good performance. But if you did want to build a portfolio, then that's where you'd opt for one of these, and you can upgrade at any time. So let's move ahead with the business plan. That's what I would recommend. Now, at this point, you have the ability to connect a domain if you already own it, or you can register a new one. So what I did here is we're going to register a new domain. That's, if you're on this video, chances are you are going to need to do that as well. So click the second tab and then search for your domain name. So I'm putting in the name of my YouTube channel here. That's what we're going to build. But this is where you would enter things like skincarecentral.com as an example, or the various other ones that you may have in mind. Now you might need to run a few different searches here. Your domain may not be available and you may need to use a different extension. I would recommend .com, as I've been saying throughout this video, because that's going to give you the most benefit in terms of SEO and just website traffic and visitors understanding you. But you could use any of these other as well, and it may be that you get a domain name that you want with a different extension, so do bear that in mind. But once you've chosen it, click search, or once you've entered it I should say, and it will say whether it's available or not. As you can just see here, this pop-up, this is why I love WPX. Hi, can I help you set things up? So I could talk to Daniel straight away, the support agent, and we could get him to help us build your website, get everything set up from a technical perspective, and they'll do it for you. That's absolutely brilliant. You don't get that with many hosts. So I just thought I'd mention that because that's just popped up, and that will happen when you head over to WPX as well. So if you wanted to do that, you could always do that. But I'm going to show you how to do it myself, so I've just minimized that. So we've got this selected. I'm going to press continue. And at this stage, all you need to do is select your hosting location. Now, it doesn't actually matter that much, but what I tend to do is pick the one where you're looking to get the most of your audience from. So for the most part, I would select USA, as you're more likely to get US traffic. The only exception would be if you're looking to target visitors in different locations, such as Europe or Australia. But as I say, for the most part, just select USA. You can change this, and one of the benefits of WPX is it will alternate between the data centers depending on where your traffic's coming from anyway. So it's actually not that important. So at this point, I'm actually going to just quickly sign up, and I'm going to obviously blank my screen. Actually, I'm going to stop recording the video and then we'll come back once I've done this, just to protect my financial information. So I hit checkout, and as you can see, it's taken us to this screen saying that I have an unpaid invoice. So all we need to do basically is pay for that invoice, and that will activate our plan. Now, what you need to do to pay for your invoice is just head over to your email, the one that you used during sign up, and you will notice that you'll have an invoice that's been created, and it will come directly from WPX. The first email will just talk about the order, what you're looking to, what you've put through, and the second one will be the invoice itself. And all you need to do is, if you follow the link, you can pay the invoice directly in WPX. So we'll click that, and you'll see it takes us to this screen here. Now you'll see the status is unpaid, and you basically just click on the invoice, and it's going to show you the invoice, exactly what you've got. Now at this point, you just pay via the payment option, credit card or PayPal. I'm going to do PayPal. I'm just going to pause this video while I do that. Once paid, you will also receive an email from WPX mentioning that you've paid your invoice. You can check in your client area all the invoices that you've had and what have been paid. But if we go back to our client area, so by the way, to sign into your client area, you use the email address that you provided during sign up. You can always access your hosting account from there. You need to wait for the status to become active, and you will get another email from WPX when you're ready to start building your website. It happens within minutes. It's literally 2 minutes since we signed up. So we'll get the first email saying that your account has been activated, and you'll get a second one mentioning that your domain has been registered. So you now own that domain and you're ready to get started. So you head back into the client area, and you can see it's active, and we can manage our service. So we can start building our website. Now, if you hover over My Services at the top and click WordPress Hosting, then click Manage Service. Now, what we need to do is click Manage Websites, and you'll see our domain name listed. Next, you need to click Manage WP. Again, if you've got any questions at any point, you can always talk to support, and they will walk you through it or do it for you as well, which is also fantastic. So we need to wait for this to load. It takes a couple of minutes usually. and then it will come up with this message. So it seems you don't have any existing WordPress installation under this domain. You can go ahead and install WordPress by clicking on the link below. So literally click this. And at this point, you just want to enter the following information. So using database, leave that as is. Your admin email will be the email address that you want associated with your WordPress installation. So I'd like to do this as the email that I signed up with WPX. Your username, then that's what you're going to use to log into your website. So you want to do this as something quite memorable, and you may even want to do it as something a little bit obscure so that nobody can kind of try and log into your website. So I'm actually going to blur this when it comes to showing this part. Yeah, I've just added an admin username. This is the password to get into your website. Obviously, needs to be very memorable, and that yeah, you need this to be. You don't want to forget this because it will essentially mean you get locked out of your website. And as you can see here, for some reason mine don't match. I must have put those in wrong. So let me just try doing that again. So there we go, they've matched, or you could generate one as well. Now you have a couple of options. You can install this Total Cache plugin for better performance. We might as well. And then all you need to do is click Install WordPress. And again, you'll get this little loading icon. And you essentially are waiting for WPX to build your website. And it's from here that we can start logging in to the back end of our website and start building it out. So we're actually nearing the end of the demo, which is fantastic. Now, once that process finishes, you will be greeted with this message. And it basically says that WordPress has been installed on your domain and your entire hosting plan has been set up. So just close this off. Now we're ready to log in to our WordPress website. So to do that, you just click on the domain name and it's going to open in a new tab, and it's going to actually take you to your website that we've just created. And as you'll see here, it's completely blank and it's just got the default theme on here. So what we just need to do is if we put -wp admin, so you can see this here is what I've put in here, and press enter. We then need to enter the login credentials that we set up during our installation. So I'm just going to enter those now. And this has logged us into the back end of our new website. So it is from here that we will customize our website and we'll build it out. And that is where essentially we're going to do all our customizations, add our content, etc. The final thing we need to do in WPX itself is, as you can see here, the SSL hasn't been set up. So we are not on the secure version of the website. You might have noticed that at the top. So to do that, just simply log back into WPX, into your admin area, and where we went to manage websites before, we just need to click on this SSL and click Install Free Certificate. Click Install and press Yes. And you'll get this notification in the top right when it's been installed, and you'll also see the padlock next to the website. And if we go back to our website, and I'm going to hit refresh. Now, one thing we need to do to confirm the SSL is I'm going to press add new to the plugins in the plugin section, and I'm going to add a plugin called Really Simple SSL. We're going to install this and we're going to activate it. And here, let's just press activate SSL. And what it will do is it will ask you to log in again, because it kicks you out to make sure that you're logging into the new SSL secure version. So Here you just want to run through these remaining tasks. This one we want to click fix, and we want to do select 301 HDA access redirect, hit save and continue. Settings saved. Now if we visit our website, so that should be set up. If I can spell it correctly, I'll put our domain in the top and you'll notice the padlock. So we are on the secure version of our website. Here you just want to run through these remaining tasks. This one we want to click fix, and we want to do select 301 HDA access redirect, hit save and continue. Settings saved. Now if we visit our website, so that should be set up. If I can spell it correctly, I'll put our domain in the top and you'll notice the padlock. So we are on the secure version of our website. So this is the start of your lifestyle blog. So if you've just followed that process, then congratulations, because you will now have a website live on the internet. So now what you need to do is run through the rest of the process that I explained at the start of this video. So that will be building out your blog and publishing content, and obviously customizing it to make sure it suits your brand and exactly what you want your site to look like. Now, there are plenty of tutorials online that are going to walk you through this process in much more depth than I aim to cover in this video, but I do just want to show you the basics so you have an idea at this stage. But don't worry, you can always learn this in your own time and it's not too complicated. In fact, one of the benefits of working with WordPress is that you could probably learn this as you go just by playing around with your website. And because we've used WPX, if you were to break anything or do something you didn't want to do and revert back, you can do that because you've got those backups in place. So let's start with choosing the theme. All you need to do to select a new theme is hover over the appearance on the sidebar, and as you can see, we've got themes here. We click this, and this will show you all of the themes that are installed on your WordPress installation. These three will be by default. But if you want to add a new one, which of course is what I'm going to recommend, then you just click this add new button. And here is the library of all the different available WordPress themes in the WordPress directory. And as I've also mentioned so far in this video, I'm a big advocate of GeneratePress. It's the one I use. And if we scroll down in the popular section, you'll see that GeneratePress comes up as one of the most recommended by WordPress themselves. So I mean, that says a lot about this particular theme, and which is why I recommend it. It's so user-friendly and it's fantastic. So we're going to actually install this on our website. We're going to be installing the free version. If you want the paid version, you just head over to the official GeneratePress website and kind of purchase it through there. And there's a link in the description below if you want to head over there and do that. If you do go for the paid version, which you're going to be able to use the site library, you then just need to install a plugin on your site just to get all that extra functionality. Just bear that in mind. But what I'm going to show you now is how you can get the free version of GeneratePress on your website. So you just hover over the theme and you click install, and it's already installed, and then we click activate, and that makes it the default theme. You can see a message here. So if I were to go to my website, just hover over this and click visit site, this is what your traffic or anyone who visits your website will now see. So we can see this is all updated, and from here if we go back to our dashboard, and then if we go appearance, customize, this is where we can start, as the name suggests, customizing our theme. So on the left hand side, you literally just run through each of these, starting with the site identity. So this is where you put your brand name in here. You can have it as a .com. You could put it just as, you know, something like this. You could hide it if you wanted. You can add your company logo. You can add a tagline, which is a brief description of what you do. You can add a site icon, which is what's going to appear up here. You have the ability to change the layout. We've got a container at the moment. You could remove that if you wanted, or change the size of it. You can change the header, the primary navigation and the menu that appears, the sidebar, you could change that, the footer. You can also change all the colors, and not just in for the whole kind of website. You can do individual elements, so it could just be this, it could be the sidebar, it could be the menu. As an example, it could be all the buttons, all the aspects of the content, such as the links, etc. You can then change the typography, so this would be things like the fonts that are used. You can change that for headings and the actual text itself. You've also got the ability to make some other technical changes from here, add menus, etc. That's the kind of core area of customizing. If you do get the paid version of GeneratePress, this is going to become much more expanded, and you have a lot more options to kind of customize. So just bear that in mind. I'm not going to save that for now. So that's how you would go ahead and customize your theme. Next, you can add some plugins. Now this just gives you some extra functionality, or the ability to add new functionality to your site. So all you need to do is click add new. Obviously, if I click install plugins, it's going to show everything that's active, and that's going to be quite minimal by default because this is a new WordPress installation. If I click add new, this shows you all of the different plugins in the WordPress directory. We have a featured section, popular, recommended, etc. Now, there's plenty out there that you may want to consider. You could even Google things like best plugins for WordPress websites, or if you've got a particular use case you need, then you can always type that in. So best plugins for SEO as an example. The ones I'd recommend that you use for SEO from the outset are the likes of either Yoast or Rank Math. So that will enable you to add important metadata, such as the keywords you're going after, just to help tell the search engines what your content's all about. So they're the ones I'd recommend. You just search for them up here. So if I type in Rank Math as an example, then that's obviously appears. You basically install it. What I like about this is you can see the number of installations, if it's compatible with your version of WordPress, when it was last updated, and you can get more details before you install it as well. So that's how you add plugins. Very, very basic, really. Next thing you'll need to do is build out the blog itself. So you want to add the core pages, your contact us, your about us, etc. You can do that from the pages section. You just simply click add new. You would then add a title. So this is where you put something like about us. This is where you add your content. And then on the right hand side, this is where you can customize how it looks in terms of the text colors or the background colors, the size of the text, etc. Then if you click page, this is where you can change the URL. So that's what appears up here. You can change your featured image, etc. So that's where you'd add pages. Make sure you add all the key ones, about us, contact us, privacy policy, there's disclosure, those ones, you'd add that here. And then you can add these pages to your menu by on the appearance and menu. You would then look at your pages and you'd simply add these, add to menu and save. And then you'd build your menu into your layout. That's how you get your menu going. And then all your content is going to be in the post section. So you would simply add new. Hello World's the one that's been created by default, but you would simply just add new, and you're going to get a similar page to the similar interface to the pages one we just looked at. You'd add your title for the post. This is where you'd add all your content, your lifestyle content. And on the right hand side, this is where you can add it to categories. So you can have a whole category on raw. If we go with our juicing example, raw juicing, or you could go for I don't know, quick juice recipes, I don't know, just examples. But you could build out your categories here and kind of categorize your content. You could add featured images, etc. You'd publish once you're done. If you add a SEO plugin like Rank Math, that's when you can start adding keywords and stuff. And that's just going to, once you add those plugins, it's going to start appearing in your interface. So that's essentially what it does. It just gives you the additional functionality. Now, I have mentioned quickly GeneratePress and the different paid themes. So one thing I would just like to quickly show you before I finish off are some of the done for you sites. So when I say done for you sites, if you get the premium GeneratePress theme, then you can install this in one click, and then you'd have this as your kind of website. So if I if I visit the site, so this is what it looks like now. If I installed this Mellow demo, I think it's called, onto my site, that this is what it would look like from the outset, and you would just then have to go in and customize a few things. So we'd obviously change Mellow to our website title, but this is really, really useful if you want to get your site off the ground very, very quickly. It looks absolutely fantastic. So here's an example page of what it looks like on the Mellow theme. So yeah, this is just one of the really, really good benefits of using GeneratePress, and what I'd recommend you doing. You've got the contacts. It builds out all your main contact pages as well, and you've got things like these kind of headers. So this is one example of a GeneratePress theme from the library that you can use. The other one that is really, really good is one called Tasty. So this is obviously really, really good for kind of recipes and food related lifestyle blogs. But I'm actually using this on one of my websites. But it's really, really good. This is what a kind of post looks like. But yeah, if you opt for Tasty, you import it in one click and you have your website looking like this. You just essentially need to customize it. But there is an extensive list of different done for you sites that you can import. So they're basically called design starter sites. And it saves you hours of development time. So look how many there are. They're different categories, but the blog is the one that I'd recommend you looking through. I've talked you through a couple, Mellow and Tasty, but there's loads more in here. Like Article looks great as well. So you may want to look at these as well in your own time. But I hope this video is useful. If it was, please do hit the like button. That tells me I should continue recording videos like this, and do consider subscribing to the channel if you are creating your blog and you want to take it to the next level. I'm going to be producing a lot of content on this channel about creating a website that not only looks great but ranks in Google, gets you all the traffic that you need, and obviously and for the most part makes you a lot of money as well. So with all that said, I hope you have an excellent day.